This is Candace West. Did you know that you could export an applique drawing out of EQ7 and turn it into an SVG file or scalable vector graphic for use in a cutting machine? Let me show you how. First, I am opened in the Patch Draw Motif workspace. I'm going to go to my sketchbook where I have saved some things. In my motifs, I'm going to click on this flower. Double click to edit it. Now what I need to do is I need to File, Export Meta File of Block. In the pop-up box, I need to choose High, Outline Only, Save as a Windows meta file. I need to save it somewhere, so I am going to call it Flower and save it on my desktop. Now I need to open up my vector graphics program. Our next step is to bring the EQ7 meta file into a drawing program. I am using CorelDRAW, but any vector drawing program on the market will work. There's even a free one called Inkscape. So what we need to do is go File, Import, find the file, click Import, and I want to hold my left mouse button down and drag a box across my paper, let it go, and there's my file. Now you see it brought it in at this size. When you're cutting something from an applique, or you want to cut an applique that you've already sized to your quilt, you want to make sure the cutting file is the same size as the file in the quilt. So it's a good idea to note what the size was in EQ7, write it down, and then when you get to your vector drawing program, make changes there. So I'm going to make that change. And this is the size it was in my EQ7 program. So now what we need to do is we need to check the file. It's all grouped, all the elements are grouped together. And notice that the outline weight is 0.72. We need to change this to what is called a hairline weight, which is the minimum line weight for a line. Because in most cutting programs, if the line weight or width is too large, it will actually cut a double line. So let's change this to hairline, and now it'll be a single width cut line, or the width of the blade. We could also color this to just visually help us see it better, although it's really not necessary for the SVG. But we'll do it real quick. Just ungroup it and click each of the objects. And just color them. Now I'm going to export this as an SVG. I select it, File, Export as an SVG, give it a name. Already saved this once before, so I'm just resaving it. Export. Say OK. And now I'm going to bring it up in a cutting program. This cutting program is called Make the Cuts, what operates my machine. And let's see if we can view it. SVG. We're going to open an SVG. There's our flower. Open it. There it is, ready to cut. Now obviously I'm going to separate all the parts and cut them on different pieces of fabric, but here it is, ready to cut. So from EQ7 to SVG, it is possible.